Let's look at the prompt here. If text 1 and text 2 were aware of the findings of both experiments, they would agree with which statement? Text 1. Soy sauce made from fermented soybeans is noted for its umami flavor. Umami, one of the 5 basic tastes along with sweet, bitter, salty, and sour, was formally classified when its taste receptors were discovered in the 2000s. In 2007, to define the pure flavor, these scientists used broths from shiitake mushrooms and kombu seaweed, and 2 panels of Japanese and US judges closely agreed on a description of the taste. So, text 1 is saying that soy sauce has a certain flavor, and it was formally classified when some scientists used some broths and panels of judges agreed on the description of the taste. So it was classified by simply its taste. Now looking at text 2, a 2022 experiment led to a greater understanding of soy sauce's flavor profile. They initially presented a mixture of compounds with low molecular weights to taste testers who found it was not as salty or bitter as real soy sauce. Further analysis identified proteins, including dipeptides, that enhanced umami flavor and also contributed to saltiness. The team then made a mix of 50 chemical compounds that recreated soy sauce's flavor. So, text 1 is saying that the flavor of soy sauce was judged by its taste. Text 2 was saying that it was a matter of scientifically finding 50 chemical compounds that recreated the flavor. So it was more of a chemical scientific activity. So let's look at the answers. If someone were aware of the finding of both experiments, what would they agree with? So going through the answers one by one, on average, the diets of people in the US have fewer foods that contain dipeptides. We don't know anything about the general diets of people. It's simply not what the passages are about. B, chemical compounds that activate both the umami and salty taste receptors tend to have higher molecular weight than those that only activate the umami. Well, looking at the answer for 2, or looking at text 2 is actually telling us that they found the umami and salty that activate both the salty and tasty. Okay, so text 2 says that the umami taste came from something that had low molecular weight. So for the salt and bitter, maybe we would have agreed, but because they use umami under the low molecular weight, then to say it has higher molecular weight is wrong. And looking at C, fermentation introduces proteins responsible for the increase of the umami flavor, and those proteins also increase the perception of saltiness. Well, answer choice C can't be right because only text 1 said that it came from fermentation, and in particular, fermentation of the soybeans. So that's only one of the texts that talks about that. So we can't say both passages would agree. So that's out. And then D is the only one left. The broths in the 2007 experiment most likely did not have the dipeptides in the 2022 experiment. And that can definitely be true because the 2007 experiment is right here in text 1, but the 2022 experiment had a mixture of compounds with low molecular weight, and they found it was not as salty or bitter as real soy sauce. So there we're seeing that it was definitely something different than the real soy sauce. And so if text 2's compounds had the low molecular weight and the dipeptides, Text 1 must not have it because they specifically said it was something different. So the 2007 will not have the same stuff in it because it was specifically said to be something different because they said it was not real soy sauce. So the answer here is D.